We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Steve and Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 2036, and today's topic is called we're going to talk about our buy and hold strategy to add value to our land business.
What? Is this new?
Hold. I thought.
What?
I thought you guys flip land and make money quickly.
What?
We do.
I'm so confused.
You know what? Here's the thing. This is a popular question that our staff gets. The root of this topic comes from crap your parents told you.
Oh.
Like, buy land in the growth path. Buy it now and wait.
Let's sit there.
You're going to get a bunch of gray hair.
Yep.
And you're going to make 10% on your money.
Yep.
No. That's not what you want to do. This concept of, buy it and wait and the values will catch up. It can work, but it's far and few between. I would rather flip it really quickly, but there is. We have property. Jill and I own, I'm going to say maybe 20 or 30 pieces of property in very specific areas. And I'll tell you why this came about. We don't have buy and hold strategy mailers. Correct. And sell it really quick and make a ton of money mailers. Can you imagine?
I know. Oh my gosh.
I'll explain that in great detail in a few minutes here.
Okay.
All week this week, we're talking about adding value to your land deal, your land business and transactions. Each day on the show, we answer a question from our Land Academy member Discord forum and take a deep dive into land-related topics by popular request. Jill.
All right. So William wrote, "Hello all. My name is William. My wife and partner's name is Alyssa, and I have a 10-year-old little girl. We are in the Tampa, Clearwater, Florida area, are just getting rolling in Land Academy. Alyssa is an HVAC engineer, and I own an appliance warehouse and have spent my entire adult life as a business owner or self-employed in sales and marketing."
You guys are already going to win here.
Yep. I just started in January with another online academy that focuses on entitlements and metro major subdivides. And while I love the idea, it was not beginner friendly. And I found myself feeling more like I was learning Mandarin, and returns would take years instead of weeks or months. Yep. So in July, I met up with another former member in our space who happens to train at a gym that I used to teach at. Oh, how funny is that? So they have been very successful, and they were super generous in their time and knowledge. So they shared where they got started. That's so sweet.
They were former members.
Yeah.
Jill and I. They got their start at Land Academy.
Exactly. That happens a lot. There's a lot of word of mouth where people are like, "What are you doing here? How are you here at noon every day or 3:00 or whatever?" And then I see you going out to dinner every night. How is that possible? Well, this is what I do for a business. And they're like, "Okay, tell me more." So I decided to move into rural land to get the wheels rolling, and I started exploring options. And then I found Land Academy on YouTube. Needless to say, we adored their energy and confidence and decided to sign up. Super cool. Our first mailer went out on Monday, and I'm looking forward to making friendships and networking, and it's an honor to be here. Wow. Yay! I'm so happy. Oh.
You know what I heard out of all that?
What?
Your mailer went out on Monday.
Yes.
It's a beautiful story, and I love your experience, and I love that you sent the mailer out on Monday.
Well, and I always say there's no such thing as too much education. So I appreciate you went down another path. You're like, I tried it. I went to this thing. I learned a lot about entitlements, and I learned it's going to take me a lot more until I get there and start making money. So let me pivot over here and get the ball rolling, and then decide if I want to go back to that or not. You might not.
On Monday, Jill and I talked about this very topic about splitting property and subdivisions. A fancy word for that is entitlements, and why it's probably not realistic. So I'm glad that you came to the same conclusion.
Yeah.
And I hope that people who are listening to this series this week come to that same conclusion.
Yeah.
I think all the decisions that you made, including the professions that you have, are fantastic. And I'm glad you chose Land Academy, because I think we're the original.
Well, especially for a couple too.
Yeah.
For a couple working together, we can really help you there.
Yep.
And keep you as a couple. I hope.
Subdivide. No, they sound like
Yeah.
they sound like they're on.
You are going to make it. You're going to be the only two other than us that are going to have a successful marriage where you do everything side by side.
Yeah. They might as well glue you together.
Exactly. I'm sure you're learning that. You're like, hey, Jack's here for this and Jill's not there. And Jill's here for this and Jack's not there. Oh, I see.
Jill's in Canada.
We separate some things now and then. Oh, I see Jack not answering the phone. Got it. Okay. Noted.
When we started this business, here's some relationship advice together. So I was in the business for a long time. So I used to doing everything and owning everything and calling the shots and all of it. So Jill and I had to go through an adjustment period about what she was responsible for and what I was responsible for. For a brief period of time, I was talking to the customers like I always do, taking calls, and she was talking to the same customers. And it's a little bit new for her. And so we were both negotiating the same deals, big, huge mess. So you got to draw a line in the middle of the paper and decide who's going to do what and stay out of that person's way.
It was very clear in that exact situation who was better at it.
Yes, it was.
And I had to say, look, stay out of my deals. And he said, you're right.
Yeah, that's about as long as the conversation was. With pleasure.
Yeah.
I will stop talking to these sellers.
Stop it. I had him at this price and you just added $3,000. It's like,
Yes.
oh, whoops. Yeah.
Today's topic, this is our buy and hold strategy to add value to our land business. Buy and hold. Why would you buy a piece of property and hold it? Aren't you here to buy a piece of property cheap and resell it as fast as possible? Yes. And here's what happens in reality. This is a reoccurring theme in Career Path, this advanced class that we teach.
Twice a year.
When you send out a mailer, it's never going to be perfect. There's going to be stuff in the mailer. People say this all the time. Why are there? I sent out a mailer and I got a bunch of property back. They own houses are on it, or mobile homes are on it, or it's industrial property. And to which I say, good. That's great. Go buy some houses and resell them, or buy some industrial property, and hopefully it's priced correctly, and you can go do that. So what ends up happening is you send a mailer out, and the more mail you send out, the more likely that this happens. And stuff comes back that was unintended. What happens is you take a look at that piece of property, or if you're new, you get somebody in your life like us on a Thursday call to look at the property and say, what are we going to do with this? The person who wants to sell it, I love the price. What's the best way to how are we going to maximize selling it? Put it on the MLS and sell it really fast. That is what I call bucket one property. And that's the vast majority of what we do. Buy it and resell it. Bucket two properties, maybe we, instead of buy for 30 and sell for 80, this property's in a pretty good area. There's a property right next to it or on both sides of it with a house. Let's put it in a bucket two. Buy for 30 and sell for 150, and we know it's going to take a year to sell. But the amount of money that we're paying for it is so low, we can always go back and throw it back into bucket one and reprice it and sell it for 60 or 80. But let's try for 150 and see what happens. And it takes a year.
Can I add a note about that, by the way? Sometimes this situation that he's describing right now, it's simple seasonality.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, she's right. So maybe you're buying it in the winter and you're waiting for the season to
Spring.
change.
Come April, May, people are going to scramble for this property. That happens.
And then bucket three is, wait a second. This is a gold mine. Maybe we should mine or split this property. Maybe this is very rare. Bucket three property for us is very, very, very rare. We should mine or split it. We should go to a developer. We should maybe just hold it. We're just going to not even put it for sale because we know what's happening in that area. The growth rate's incredible, and we're not even going to do anything. We're going to do something active, which we don't regularly talk about and don't really encourage. To really, buy for 30, sell for 800,000 5 years later. So it happens to us once in a while. We have a couple deals like that. We're just letting it age.
I think that's Jack's way of keeping them because he never wants to sell them.
It's far and few between those deals. And Jill does. They do market. Jill does sell them.
Yeah, I get in trouble sometimes
without me knowing about it.
Yeah, exactly.
It really happens.
Yeah.
But that this bucket number 2 is wait for seasonality. Our buy and hold strategy ends up being maybe a year. It might be 2 seasons, so 24 months. On the furthest out, you need the velocity of money. It really applies here as an economic theory. So, this is what you really want. Forget about land and forget about working with your spouse and all that stuff. If you have $10,000 and you buy some property and it takes you 30 days, and now it's $20,000, and you take that 20 and 30,000 and make it 40, and then 80, and on throughout the year, the internal rate of return and any way to really analyze and look at the velocity of money that way is staggering. Even if you double it, if you get 100% buy for 10, sell for 20, and it takes 12 months to do that, staggering return compared to what goes on in capital markets, which are 1 to 5%, maybe 10% if you really know what you're doing. So you're winning when you buy the property. How you choose to maximize that is up to you. And buying and holding is the exact opposite of that. Buying and holding is the opposite of the velocity of money. It's like the turtle in the hare. You want to be the hare. Nobody wants to be the turtle, I don't think. There's certain times where the value of the property exceeds that concept. Where it's buy for 30 and sell. Like we did a couple of deals that are just, I hesitate to even bring it up because it's like, a gambler always talks about the 2 or 3 times they hit it big and not the 3,000 times they lost money. And so I don't want to bring up our 5-star wins.
I'll end on this. One of my favorite sayings from my dad was, I have 1 in a million chance he would play the lottery, send us out. At times it was big too. And like, we're in different states, like, go buy Powerball tickets. I want you to put $20, do this. Like, okay, Dad, we'd all go do it. And I'm like, Dad, what's the deal? You haven't done anything yet. He says, you know what? I have a 1 in a million chance of winning, and I'm almost there.
Jeez.
So this ties to that.
I don't think that you want to raise your kids that way.
No, I know.
You seem to be fine.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. I thought that was funny.
I've never seen you buy a lottery ticket in my life.
Right? Oh, no, I like to scratch them. I did do the scratchers. Was it Wisconsin or Minnesota? I can't remember, but that was really fun. I like put $2 here, $3 there, whatever. That was fun.
Here's my advice to you. Send a mailer out, see what comes back. There's a small chance that a buy and hold strategy is appropriate for the property, but probably not. What you want to do is bucket 1. Buy it and sell it, buy it and sell it, buy it and sell it.
Right.
Join us tomorrow where we discuss, does the presence of water and sewer add value to the land acquisition? You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
We are Jack and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you found our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.